Welcome back to the Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Golseth.
Okay, most people know that, most people who listen know that we usually get in our exercise in the morning. I like to run or swim, sometimes lift, that sort of thing. You get on your bike.
I get on my bike, and I ride here, and I ride home.
Do you find, though, when it's dark and it's cold in the morning, you just want to stay in bed under the covers and not get up and do that workout and wait until the last minute and then just make a mad dash to get to work instead of doing a workout?
That happens
occasionally.
a lot, and I have to sprint here.
So I'm not alone in this. Okay, I'm not alone in this. So we made the right choice inviting Jennifer Hamer. She's Chaplain's wife and group fitness instructor and command fitness instructor at Naval Air Station Lemoore Gym and Fitness Center. Thanks so much for joining us, Jennifer. Glad to have you back on this morning.
Good morning. So what kind of mileage are you getting in?
Well, my commute is 9 miles, so I get about 18 every day without.
That's amazing.
Without trying
That's
much.
Awesome. You're running twice that amount, right?
I do well these days. During the summer, I was doing pretty well. I only run a few miles at a time. I'm not a distance runner.
10.
No. I've never in my life run 10 miles consecutively. Maybe in a week. No. It's more like, 3-4 miles at a time. And that's about it. And that's plenty for me. That's all I need. That wakes me up. That makes me stay, on task in the morning so that I don't sound half asleep when I get here. That's enough for me. So it's here in the Midwest. It's cold.
It's cold.
It's not super cold yet. January will be super cold, and that's when it really gets challenging. But it's also dark. It's dark when I come in. It's dark when I go home. Sometimes it's not very motivating.
And daylight savings time is coming.
The change. Yeah, the change. So I know where you are, Jennifer. Is probably not as dramatic as that, but how do we how do we stay on task with our fitness goals and staying healthy? I do it to stay healthy so that I can be a faithful husband and taking care of my family, and so that I sound somewhat awake when I'm here
and happy.
on the internet. And happy, yes, so that I'm nice to my coworkers as well. And when I don't do that, when I don't stay on task with that, if I skip a few days, I'm not as pleasant. Sarah can attest to this. I'm not as pleasant to be around.
Yeah.
So how do
some real talk today?
Right. The truth behind yes. How can I keep up with those fitness goals through the long dark days when I just want to stay in bed because I know it's cold and damp and dark outside?
Well, here's the thing. People are always going to come up with some kind of an excuse.
Yep.
Oh, it's too hot out. I don't like exercising in the heat. Now it's too cold and it's too dark. It's all about having a plan and finding something that you genuinely like to do. That way, when you hit a rainy day, you're like, oh, man, I'm disappointed I can't be out there. Now, for the fall, this is kind of where a lot of people do reset their minds. Hey, the kids are going back to school. It is getting cooler out. Yes, we don't have so much daylight, but the cooler weather is actually cardiovascular friendly. So that is a great time to get out and to bike and to run. And you know that there's always these little 5Ks all over the place. For example, this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Mm-hmm. And maybe have 5Ks going the entire month. Find your pink sweatshirt, find a buddy, and go out and either walk or run those. And it's not a competition. That's just about community. But then that will also inspire you if you have something that you want to honor, such as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. That does give you a chance to kind of say, you know what, if I'm going to do that race on the 29th, I think I should start walking now or running now or some combination, and go ahead and get on out there and embrace that. So finding a goal, finding something you genuinely would love to do, both of those are very helpful. And then I think also having a buddy, someone that's going to be accountable. Because when you have to wake up early in that morning, besides having your reflective gear ready to go, you want to know there's going to be somebody out there waiting for you. Otherwise, it is so easy to just turn over, pull the covers up, and let everybody snooze another half hour.
That's so true. When I know there's someone waiting for me, I can't hit the snooze button.
It's true. And you have a point about the 5Ks. I didn't think about that, but on my ride to work, I don't know. I haven't counted the number of signs for the different 5Ks that are happening this month, but there are a number of them all over the place. And
a 5K a day, basically.
Pretty much. Two things that I'm just going to throw these out there. Two things that have helped me just like wake up in the morning and be like human. Turning the heat up. Like on our nest, we have a nest. So we make sure that the heat goes on before we want to wake up. So it's hot. So I want to put the covers off, and a light alarm so that the room is bright when we need to wake up. Those are my two tips.
Oh, yeah. When the lights come on, you know the day is going on.
Right,
so
exactly.
It does help quite a bit.
Yeah.
And this is, especially, and by the way, can I say how honored I am that I'm following in John Vickers' footsteps right after him? My little Lutheran theological heart was just fluttering. So, I think what we do as a ladies' Bible study here on base, today we're having an awareness walk for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so it's a great way to get out there. And we have people messaging us names of loved ones who are either survivors or in remembrance or in honor of. And we're out there representing those names. We write them on our shirt. We write them on our little ribbons. That's going to be 10 miles by the time we're done walking. And it's just, you're out there walking these little laps on the track, and it adds up. And there's going to be other people that will come out and meet us. So it's that building of community. It's that I'm going to aim for something that is new. I'm going to do something that I want my family to be involved in. And so next week, we have some self-defense classes that we're hosting on the base. And guess what? Everybody's going. The whole family.
Sweet.
So, besides your daily routine, find something that either you as an individual or you as a family can embrace and go do. Go apple picking. Go into the orchards. You'll put on more miles than you realize. That's a great way to get together on the weekend and have that good family time. And besides that, what's the other thing everybody loves to do in the fall?
Eat. Oh, sorry.
That's a year-round thing for you.
Andy, your heart is speaking the truth. That's what people like to do. But they like doing it while they're watching football games, or they like doing it while they're watching their favorite shows that have come back on. And especially if they're still watching networks and they're not giving into the Hulu weakness of, binge watching everything. But if you're going to be in front of the TV, you don't need to be on the couch during the commercial breaks, or even just set a little timer. Just say, you know what, I'm going to do a minute of tricep dips. Or I think maybe I will do 30 seconds of crunches. And when you put it in that context, I can do 30 seconds. That's not a big deal. And you're like, well, you know what? Why don't I do 30 seconds of squats? By the way, my husband was making a bet that I could not make it all the way through the interview without throwing some squats in there.
Did you just do some squats?
Oh, Chaplain Hamer, he knows you so well. Yeah.
So, how does movement throughout the day help us with brain function and with our moods, especially when we start losing the light during the day? How does that help us keep functioning as pleasant human beings throughout the darker days?
I feel like this is really going to, keep both of you on the right track in your partnership with the show. So here it is. If you're going to fuel your body several times a day, you also want your body moving several times a day. That movement is part of what, besides boosting the metabolism and the endorphins that you get from that movement is part of what helps regulate all of the chemical reactions that your body needs to function every single day. And that includes brain function. So it's that very solid relationship. If I'm going to fuel my body, I'm going to fuel my body for the purpose of moving. Even if it's only for 10 minutes at a time. 10 minutes 3 times a day is much more important than 2 hours on the weekend.
So more than just walking to the fridge.
Unless your fridge is like on a different floor of the house and 200 steps away, then maybe that counts.
Halfway across the building.
Walking lunges to the fridge.
There you go.
Up.
Yeah.
Doing 50 squats while you're perusing all the leftovers and looking for the cheesecake in the back. That counts.
I'm going to do that today when I go to get leftover pizza from yesterday. I'm going to do lunges all the way to the
Please
fridge.
do that.
And see how many.
Maybe I'll put it on Instagram.
Our guest, Jennifer Hamer, told me I should do lunges from my desk to the fridge. And that'll end up on social media.
Yes, it will.
So we have just a couple of minutes left. Any more tips for not losing that momentum as fall and winter approach? Any other tips or any other insights for us?
I think, especially for women, when we do not have to wear shorts or sundresses, we start wearing long pants, we start wearing the fluffy sweaters. Pay attention to how your clothes fit.
Yep.
And I hate saying it on the scale because I think the scale is an evil thing, but pay attention to how you feel. Pay attention to how your clothing fits. And then help use that as a guide saying, you know what, I really enjoyed my Sunday football, but I think instead of just watching it, let's go for a walk at halftime, or why don't we do some family exercises on the floor, and during the challenge flags. Whatever it is, be mindful and embrace the fact that this is a great time of year to do other kinds of activities so you don't get stuck in a rut as well.
Yeah, as Sunday afternoon family walks, it was rainy this weekend, and we were still in the Vitality Challenge for for the LCMS church workers who are on Vitality. We were still in that, and I still wanted to get in my workout. So we did household chores and about an hour of Go Noodle on YouTube.
Which will get stuck in your head.
Which will, yes. There are lots of campy songs on there. It's kids, videos to help kids get up and move around. A lot of teachers use it. And so, yeah, about an hour of that. Cheesy, campy songs got us moving. And my son loved it. And now all the songs are stuck in my head. Jennifer, thanks so much for being our guest on the Coffee Hour today and providing some tips for us to keep momentum during the fall and winter seasons. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much.
Well, that does it for the Coffee Hour for this week. Next week, we wrap up He Restores My Soul. Yeah. And a few more giveaways.
A few more giveaways.
Wow. Have a great weekend, everyone. That does it for the Coffee Hour. I'm Eddie Bates.
I'm Sarah Golseth.
The Coffee Hour with Andy and Sarah is a production of KFUO. To support the Coffee Hour and KFUO Radio, visit KFUO.org. You can also text KFUO to 41444 or send an email to gifts@KFUO.org. And you can call us at 800-844-0524. KFUO. Christ for you, anytime, anywhere.